So this video is on function notation, and function notation gives us another way to express y. And you know that you've used equations often, something like y equals 5x minus 3, right? Everybody has been familiar with that. Y is the value that you get when you sub in a value for x, multiply it by 5, and subtract 3 from that product. You get an output value of y. So x and y together are points on this curve. And so just a reminder then that y is the output value, or we refer to this as the dependent variable. And x then is the independent variable. And this notation is f of x, okay? We pronounce it f of x. The function when x is subbed in to it, okay? The value that we get for y depends on the value that you input for x. I could input any value for x in my function, and I will get a different output value, or a different y, or a different f of x. So let's practice with that. If my function is f of x, and remember that that also just means y equals 5x minus 3, so f of x equals 5x minus 3, find f of 1. Okay, this is pronounced f of 1. Well, everywhere we see x in the function, we want to substitute in now not x, but 1. So writing that out, f of 1 then is 5 times 1 minus 3, which is 5 minus 3, which is 2. All right, we can do any other value of x. We could do negative values also. So f of x is 5x minus 3. Find f of minus 4. And if you want to pause the video, you could just pause it now. Go ahead and practice that. F of minus 4 is equal to 5 times minus 4, subtract 3. Remember order of operations. We do the multiplication first, minus 20, subtract 3, minus 23. Okay, now that's numerical values of x. Now they could also be different functions of x that we sub in for x. So let's take a look at that. If f of x, keep the same function, 5x minus 3, find f of 2x. Okay, the same process applies. Everywhere we see x in the original function, we now are going to change that to 2x. So f of 2x is 5 multiplied by whatever was there for x is now becoming 2x. Subtract 3, and that is 10x. Subtract 3, and there's nothing else we can do. Those are not like terms, so we cannot subtract. Let's take a look at another one. Our f of x is 5x minus 3. Find f of x plus 1. Pause the video and give that a try. F of x plus 1, 5 times x plus 1 minus 3. 5x plus 5 minus 3. 5x plus 2. Now I'm going to change up my f of x a little bit, so put a little line in there so we can see the difference. And I'm going to say that f of x equals x squared. And this is one that we see an awful lot in calculus, and the reason why we are reviewing function notation. Find f of x plus h. Pause the video and give that a try. Remember how to square a binomial. So f of x plus h is equal to, well, whatever I have for my x is getting squared. X is not x anymore, it's now x plus h. And that means x plus h times x plus h. And think back to how you find the product of that binomial. And that is, remember we call this, maybe you use that word as an acronym to help you remember to multiply the first terms, the outside terms, the inside terms, and the last terms. All right, so that's x times x, x squared. X times h, the outside terms, well, that is xh. The inside terms are h times x. Well, that's another xh. And the last terms are h times h. Okay, now I hope that that is review for you from your first year math. If not, you really need to make sure you follow that. Ask questions about that. Ask for more practice if you need it. One more item with function notation that I just want to review with you is what about if f of x equals, let's do x squared again, find 4 f of x. So notice what that is. This is just 4 multiplied by the function f of x. It's not subbed in as the independent variable. So 4f of x is just 4 times x squared. Okay, I'll give you a few to try. So f of x, practice. F of x equals x plus 3. Yeah, take that away. F of x equals x plus 3. Find f of x plus h. Find 5f of x. Pause the video and give those a try. All right, so f of x plus h in this case is equal to x plus h, the new x, plus 3. Don't need brackets, it's all addition, x plus h plus 3. And 5f of x is equal to 5 times x plus 3. The brackets are important there. We want to make sure we're multiplying 5 by each term. 5x plus 15. Okay, one last one for practice. F of x equals 2x squared plus 1. Find f of x plus h. Pause the video and try that. All right, f of x plus h is equal to 2 multiplied by, the x is now x plus h, and it was supposed to be all squared. So notice where I put the brackets, and we've got a plus 1 on the end. This part is common, okay? It's repeated. It's the same thing that we get when up here. All right, same as this one. So I won't go through that part again, but you can review that part there. So that will be 2, and remember the squaring of x plus h is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 1 on the end. Now remember that 2 is multiplied by each of those 3 terms. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus 1, not multiplied by 2. All right, that last one there is really the main reason for doing function notation in this course. So please make sure that you follow all of that. You will see that a few times in the next few weeks. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.